the line "Miners on an Island Somewhere" in the conservative anthem "Men North of Richmond" by Oliver Anthony is a far-right political attack. What do you mean? Shouldn't we all want to do something about the plight of children in human trafficking and sex trafficking situations? Well, sure, but there's a way to discuss those things that professionals across the board agree actually shine a light on the horrors of forced human labor, and there is a way to talk about it that is just using people who are still suffering tragically in trafficking situations as political props, as pawns. And if you're doing that, you are just exploiting children that you may claim to care about, although Oliver Anthony does not claim to care about them. So when you are talking about forced labor, that is where you should start. Red flags include people who are obsessed with just one kind of human trafficking, say child trafficking or sex trafficking. People who are focused on shadowy James Bond villain figures or cults or cabals like Jeffrey Epstein. Are they real? For sure. Are they the thing that is driving all of the global demand for forced human labor? Absolutely not. Those things allow you to ignore the powerful institutions that are involved in the systemic demand for and perpetuation of forced human labor, including human trafficking and child trafficking and sex trafficking and child sex trafficking. Who you should be listening to are people who talk about the broad picture, the systemic reality, the churches and the schools and the governments that play a role in global human trafficking, in people that call for the decriminalization of sex work and understand the role that is played by the criminalization of sex work and the perpetuation of human trafficking and child trafficking. Does Oliver Anthony talk about any of the nuance of those things? No. He talks about miners on an island somewhere, implying kitty-fiddling liberal politicians using people who are still suffering in bondage or who have suffered in bondage as political props, as pawns in his own rhetorical agenda. And what is so ironic is that if you want to criticize the Biden administration, if you want to criticize the Democrats for child trafficking, there is plenty of blame to go around. There are more children in cages now than during the Trump administration. There are more children lost from those cages in, reunification efforts with their families than under the Trump administration. But why don't we talk about those kids? Why do the Oliver Anthonys, the Ben Shapiros, the far right not talk about those kids? That is the most damning thing. Those are migrant children. So while they're hanging out there to be latched onto for rhetorical ends, for political smearing, it just slides right by their notice because those are brown kids. Those are immigrant kids. Those are people that the right doesn't consider people. They are far more engaged in tabloid, gross, really graphic, sex cult, secret islands, shadowy billionaires than they are in actually making any kind of systemic change. And again, I cannot bang on this point enough. If you are not talking about the subject of forced human labor, including child trafficking and child sex trafficking, with nuance and responsibility to the situation, to the survivors and the victims who are still in bondage, then what you are doing is exactly what you would seek to criticize. You are exploiting children. You are exploiting tiny humans in the worst situation that you can find yourself in for cheap fucking political theatrics.